attached to it. What's the percentage of words in communication, do you think? Who knows the answer? Anybody seen this before? Nobody seen this before? What do you think is the percentage of words in face-to-face communication? 10%. Yeah? Any other opinions? Someone said 10%? Going once? Going twice? Any other opinions? It takes courage, by the way. Congratulations for saying that, because it takes courage to have opinions, doesn't it? Because even opinions, they're being part of authenticity. Yeah? This is what I think. If it's true or not, maybe I don't know, but this is an opinion, right? And just be authentic, that is just an opinion. And maybe I don't know, but I think maybe it's 10%, right? I can be authentic that I'm not informed, right? I just have an opinion. It's okay to have opinions as long as we're authentic about it being an opinion. Yeah? So someone said 10%. Very close, it's actually 8%. Yeah? So 8% of communication is words. So what's tonality? What do you think? What's the percent? What's tonality anyways? What does that mean, tonality? Yeah? How you say it, right? She says, how you say it. Ready? Convincing power of the tone of your voice, right? So the sound of your voice. Now, how much is that in percent, do you think? 50? Somebody say 50? Yeah? Close? Yes? Any other opinions? 20? 75? Any other opinions? 30. Have you noticed that more people are speaking up now? When one person becomes authentic, it gives other people the permission to be authentic as well. Yeah? Only one person needs to start to be authentic. And other people now have permission. They give themselves permission now to also be real and to venture out and be courageous and say what they really think. So let's give them a hand. That's really courageous. Congratulations. Good, so the actual number is 38%. I think, yeah. 38% tonality. So what do you think, body language? What's the percentage? Actually, I'm sorry, this is only 7% words. I exaggerated. So this is 7%. Which makes body language 55%, right? 55%. Are you surprised? I was surprised when I first saw that. And I thought words are everything. Right? Words are everything. But why is that? Why do you think words are only 7%? In communication. Are we talking, why is this important? Because we're talking about creating a culture that attracts talent, right? So we need to talk about communication, because in a worthwhile culture, people are communicating in a worthwhile way. So why do you think words are only 7%? Any thoughts on that? What's the cause of that? Because, and we've all been there, you've been there, you've been there, you've been there. We've all been babies before, right? Do babies have words? No, they don't have words, right? When you're born? Did you have words when you were born?
No, but babies are thinking a different form of language.
Yeah, they make sounds, right? Tonality. Right? Tonality. But no words yet. But they do make sounds after maybe 5-6 months. But before that, they don't really have language until they're maybe 3 years old. But they may have some words, right? But they don't really have language until they're 3 years old. But what they can see and what they can hear is the sound of your voice. Does she sound friendly? Or not? Or unhappy? Yeah? Or even angry? Yeah? Does mommy sound Good right now, or maybe not so good. Right? Now, what's mommy's face look like? Is mommy happy right now, or is she stressed out? Yeah? As babies, we can already tell. It's the first thing we learn. Before we ever have language, we can judge, we can see people for what they are because we see it in their faces and we can hear it in the sounds that come out of their mouth. Right? Are they friendly sounds? Are they upset sounds? Are they stressed sounds? Or are they happy sounds? Right? Those are sounds. So sounds and faces, and as adults we don't just look at faces, we look at the whole physical expression of the self. We want to look at the whole body, right? True? Yeah, right? We can tell if somebody is telling the truth by looking at their face, you know, and looking at their bodies. And so, why be inauthentic? People can tell anyways. Yeah? They can tell if when we're not authentic. People sense it. They've been trained since they were newborns to see body language, to recognize the sound of your voice. They can tell anyways. But here comes the real thing, is what's behind tonality? What gives tonality? What gives the sound its sound? What gives the sound its sound? What is it? Why do we have a certain sound in our voice? Because, yes. See, so everybody can hear you.
Because of your emotions.
Yeah, that's right. Because of emotions, right? Emotions, or the feelings you feel at that moment, will give your tone, will give your voice a certain sound, right? It sounds very different when you say, "Oh, you're so cute," right? Or, "Aren't you cute?" Right? Very different, right? Almost the same words. Now, same with body language. What's behind body language? What's behind body language? Yeah, expressions of what? Body language is expression of what? It's expression of something. Expression of love. Yes, you're whispering something. Expression of your emotions, he says, very good. So wait a moment, tonality is emotion, and body language is emotion. Isn't that what we just said? So what's behind tonality is emotion, right? What's behind body language is emotion. So emotion is how much of your communication? %, she says. She's correct. Yeah, so 93% of our communication are emotions. Wow. Is that surprising? It's surprising. It surprised me. Yeah? When I saw that for the first time. When I realized, wait a moment, what's behind tonality? It's feelings, it's emotion. What's behind body language? There's feelings and emotions. So really, if I add up those percentages, 93%. Oh my God. 93% of communication in face-to-face is emotions. No? 93%. That's huge. Yeah? So what does that mean in practicality? In practicality, I can say something really bad to you, but if I'm saying it nice, you can still get the nice message, right? Yeah? It's like here, let's imagine there sits a person, I go, "Oh, you look really terrible today." Right? Or I could say, "Oh, are you okay? You kind of look terrible today." Right? Very different, right? One is like almost like complaining, feeling superior. The other one's like caring, right? But what do people really hear? Right? People don't really hear the words. People, what they really hear is the feeling behind it. That's the main message. How does this person feel who's talking to me? People don't just listen for the words. They mostly listen for emotions. Okay, any questions on that? Any questions, any thoughts, any comments? Any contributions? As you noticed, I like to interact with my audience. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to me. So, to those of you who contributed, thank you very much. If you have any questions, please stop me anytime. Okay? Okay, so let's go through this. So, though seemingly difficult and daunting to effectively implement at first, gravity retooling and by extension magnetic workplace culture will ultimately lead to major success in any organization. I think we've demonstrated that, didn't we? Yeah? So this is what people do sometimes to help create such a culture. So there's skin tasks. So there's the blue, which is most effective, and then there is red, which is most popular. So there are, in this order, there are in-house development programs, coaching, courses at external institutions, MBAs, job rotations, assessment centers, cross-functional assignments, mentoring and buddying, high potential development schemes, action learning sets, and so forth. This is just the top. There's many more. And these are, the blue you can see from 95% to about 65% effective, meaning that's what creates loyalty in organizations. Interesting? Yeah? Okay, so now I promised you I'll also share with you the principles behind it. So here's what we have. We've talked about emotional needs. So we found out about emotions in communication, that is 93%, which is the vast majority. But we also have, as human beings, we're not human doings, we're not human machines, right? We're human beings. Like the word being indicates emotion, right? An emotion is a beingness. A beingness is an emotion or a feeling. So what kind of emotional needs do human beings have? We touched on some of them already. What do you think? What kind of emotional needs do human beings have? Who wants to? I just heard something. Love, right? Very good. Emotions, number one. Need number one is love. Right? What's another emotion? What's another need that human beings have? If you want to cheat, you look at your manual. Or if you want to have a clue, right? You can look at your manual. There are 6 emotional needs that human beings have. So the first being love, right? And it's probably the most important one. So do you feel that emotional needs are important when we want to create a culture that attracts people? Yeah. Emotional needs are so important that people will work for free to get them. People would work for free if they could get those needs fulfilled. So what are they? So one is certainty. One, certainty is what? What does that mean? Certainty is feeling secure, feeling safe, knowing I have a job tomorrow, knowing I have a future. That's certainty. Knowing I belong here, knowing I'm accepted here. That's certainty, right? And there's many different ways of adding certainty in the workplace. Now, you will hopefully have a lot of influence in creating a workplace like this. Now, these are the 6 main needs There's many sub-needs. But if you know the 6 main ones, and the brain can always remember 6, then you can help create the environment that's nurturing to those emotional needs. Yeah? So then there's connection or love, she just mentioned, right? Feeling connected, feeling part of a team, knowing I belong, knowing I like the people I work with, and knowing that they also like me. Do you like me? Yeah, as people are going to ask that. If they don't ask you directly, they're always going to have that in their mind. Do you like me? Am I accepted here? Yeah. I know I look very different from you, right? So it's a little harder for me to be accepted. Right? I kind of stick out. And I was younger in my life, I always felt like I stuck out too much. Because even growing up in Germany, I was just way taller than everybody else. Because I had a great-great-great-grandfather who was from a very small country, a country the size of Manila. This country was called Lithuania. It's still a country today. And in Lithuania, women are 6'2" plus. Women, yeah, 6'2" plus. I'm 6'8". I always have to tell people how tall I am in seminars I do, because otherwise they can't think of anything else for the whole time. They're like making bets on the side. How do you think this guy? How tall is he? You know? Yeah. And anyway, so in Lithuania, I'm only average height. Can you imagine? I'm average height. I'm 6'8", and I'm only average, right? Wow, right? That's amazing. It's probably the only part of the world where I can just go in a store and buy some clothes and buy some shoes. Right? Nowhere else in the world can I do that. It's impossible. Right? Anyways, the love and connection. So the third one is variety. Yeah, is having a job that's not necessarily boring, or not boring for long, at least. Yeah? Having some sort of variety on the job, making it interesting. Yeah? Maybe job rotation or something else. Making it interesting such that the talent you want, a really, really good talent, is attracted to come and work for you in your company. And then the next thing is significance. By the way, all of us have these 6 needs. All of us, every single one of us has these 6 needs. But we may have them at different levels. People who are very fearful may need a lot more certainty. While people who are very courageous, they don't care so much about certainty. They're more about variety. They're more about having different experiences and learning fast. That's more important to them. Not everybody needs job security. I worked for a consultancy for 8 years and I refused an employment contract. I refused it. I just worked strictly on commission. I refused it. I didn't need it. And even though it was a struggle at times, I rather had the freedom and the variety that came from being independent. Yeah? Today I don't work for anybody else anymore, except for maybe my wife and my children. Yeah? So that's then the significance. Everybody needs to feel special. And everybody wants to feel special. Everybody wants to be appreciated for what they do. Everybody wants to be appreciated for doing a good job when they do a good job. And they know when they do a good job. And they know when they're not doing a good job. Yeah? And they know that you know, but you may not tell them. Maybe you're not telling them that they're doing a good job. Because maybe your boss is not telling you you're doing a good job. And maybe his boss is not telling her that she's doing a good job. Right? And so it goes down the line. Yeah? Somebody has to be mature enough to stop it on the way down. If your boss is not telling you you're appreciated, at least you tell your employees that they are appreciated. Because you can make a difference for them. You can make a difference for these people. You can make a difference for their careers. One person knowing that they're appreciated, their career is going to go in a very different direction, even if they don't continue to work for you, because it does something. What does it do? It increases their confidence. When people who are confident are more productive. They're more likely to climb faster. They're more likely to make you look good when they work for you, because they will also appreciate you. And it goes both ways. It's a two-way street. So the first four human needs is what makes people happy. Happiness. If you have at least 3 of those needs fulfilled in any activity, could be a hobby, could be a relationship, could be a job. If you have at least 3 of those needs fulfilled, what happens is that activity becomes addicting. So let me say it again, that activity becomes addicting, which then creates loyalty. It's like I can't wait to do it again and again and again. Does it make sense? Yeah? So the first 4 is what create happiness, and then we have 2 more. We have growth and contribution. What's growth? Growth is developing myself, learning something new, getting promoted, taking classes, seminars, reading books, learning something, anything. Yeah, that's growth. Maybe even getting a pay raise, but not necessarily. Yeah. I once was going to quit the job because I needed a pay raise, but my manager kept sending me to trainings every 3 months, so I was at least loyal for 3 more months, right, afterwards, and then he sent me to another training, so I couldn't. You're going to get more of what's not working. Right? If you're going to focus on complaints, you're going to get more complaining, or more things to complain about. So why not focus on what you really want? So what's cutting edge? Cutting edge, is that something everybody agrees on? What is it? Thank you. We got 10 more minutes. So what is cutting edge? So we're going to make it fast. Cutting edge is it the latest and greatest everybody agrees on? No, it's not. Because when everybody agrees on it, it's already what? It's already common sense, right? Pretty much. What's cutting edge then? Cutting edge is something new. But cutting edge is also something not everybody agrees on. Sometimes cutting edge, by its nature of being cutting edge, is highly controversial. Yeah? Some people may not agree on that. Whatever that is, that cutting edge thing. Yeah? If you wanna make a difference in your career, live and breathe on the cutting edge. You know, live and breathe in the area that not everybody agrees on, because it's just so brand new. Yeah? And sometimes cutting edge can last 50 years. Or if it's in medicine, sometimes 100 years. Because it catches on so slowly. Even sometimes in engineering, there's been some things that have been invented 100 years ago that just now go into production. Yeah? It's amazing. Even more than 100 years ago, like Nikola Tesla, he invented things that people are just now thinking of utilizing. Like he invented a generator that could get electricity out of thin air. You could get electricity out of air, but why is it not yet everywhere in everybody's house? Because somebody earns money on selling you power, right? And then somebody earns money by selling oil to the company that makes the power out of the oil, or somebody makes money out of the gas they sell to the power company, or the coal, right? So there's no money in you having a way to produce your own electricity. Yeah? So the powers to be may not like that. So what are vector dynamics? Now, I don't know if we have time to talk about, let's see. Beingness. So in beingness, in my career as an executive coach, I usually talk about 3 realms. A realm is an area, right? So there's 3 beingnesses, but only 3 realms, but only 2 that are normally talked about in any corporation. The 3 areas are doing and having. What's the 3rd one? It's being. Yeah? In most corporations, we only talk about what we need to do and what we want to have. Right? If you're lucky, they tell you what they want to have. Most of the time, they only tell you what they want you to do. Yeah? But they will almost never ever tell you who you need to be in the process of achieving that. Yeah? Let's do this quick exercise. How would, physically, in a body language right now, how would you sit if you were bored? If you were bored, how would you sit? Put yourself in a body language position. If you were bored, out of your mind, how would you sit? Come on, do it right now. Do it right now. How would you sit if you were bored? What would your eyes look like? Right? What would your eyes look like? Bored. Bored. Come on, bored. 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 Okay, good. Keep it that way. Keep it that way. No smiling when you're bored. Right? So now, what about if you were sad? How would you sit? Sad. Sad. How about depressed? Depressed. Right, depressed. Now, how about if you were a little bit interested? Just a little bit. Just a wee bit. Not too much, just a little bit. How would you say if you're a little bit interested? How about if you were very interested? How would you say if you were very interested? Yeah? How about if you were excited? Outside your comfort zone. Yeah. So, which state of being? Now these are all states of being. Yeah? Which one's more productive? The bored or the depressed? Huh? Which one's more productive? Bored. Somebody says bored? Yeah? Yeah, bored, right? Because depressed, you're almost like paralyzed. Which one's more productive? Bored or mildly interested? Mildly interested, right? Which one's more productive? Mildly interested or excited? Excited, right? That's more productive. But we never, ever, ever talk about that in organizations, right? What it takes, what's the beingness required for us to be more productive? We don't have time for that. So there's a guy who was on the cutting edge 50 years ago. He became highly controversial, and the cutting edge is always highly controversial, but he only became controversial because he later founded a church, and that church was the Church of Scientology. But this guy named L. Ron Hubbard, before he founded the church, he developed this because he was an engineer. He developed what's called the tone scale, or emotional tone scale. Yeah? So as an engineer, he wanted everything in numbers. He wanted to have a measurable way of looking at a tone scale and then knowing where is this person or this culture at in terms of effectiveness and emotion. Yeah? So it goes from minus 40 to plus 40. But most organizations, they're probably from 1.0, successful organizations, mind you, from 1.0 to probably 3.3, which is strong interest. Yeah? Very few organizations will find themselves in cheerfulness or of beingness. Yeah? And he studied that, he's an engineer. So this is what it looks like on the upper scale. It's a little bit larger. This is where most organizations find themselves at. There's hostility, there's pain, there's anger. Do you see anger in your organization sometimes? Yes, right? And then here it gets lower. And we're feeling lower and lower. Grief. feeling undeserving, feeling a victim, hopeless, dying, feeling like you're dying at 0.01, or even death at 0.0, like imagining it's like you're dead, or shame, -0.2. But earlier we talked about people being machines, right? And that's very interesting because when you look at -10, when you look at -10, it says being objects. Yeah? When people are machines, the effectiveness of that organization, of that person, is a -10. That's how effective that organization is. No? Very, very ineffective. So, and many of you probably have that in your organization, so there's just some thoughts on that. So now, I have to close, yes, but I just finished a book and I've just printed just a few copies for a workshop that I'm going to do in Hong Kong on Friday. And I have 10 extra copies I brought with me. If some of you want that, and some of the things we talked about today are in that book. And if you want to learn some more about it, it's available over that table. But only if you want, I only have 10 copies. Please don't run over the chairs. Please be safe when you go there. Right? Not everybody at once. It's available only for 500 pesos. It's like my cost of printing these things. And it's a pre-release. It doesn't even have an ISBN number yet. Huh? So it's that brand new. We just printed it last week, Saturday. Huh? Good, so that's available. Then, oops, that's the wrong direction. If we want to reach exponential growth, and that's what the book talks about, what do you want to do? You take on a life-changing event. You create some life changes in an organization. So, how does it normally work? Normal organizations, they will throw something like that, right? Up and down. But when you increase the skill of someone, then it goes like that. It goes a little higher, right? But if you actually do something else, you don't just increase the skill, but you also change their way of being, right? Maybe here. Then you don't just change the height, but you also change the direction. Yeah? So when over time, it's like it goes a small shift here, but over time it goes greater, 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 and greater. Right? Then one shift. That's just one shift in beingness. Yeah? But let's say you have a shift here, and then you have a shift here. Then you have a shift here, and a shift here, and another shift here. What happens to growth? Growth no longer becomes like this, no longer linear. It becomes now exponential. Yeah, growth becomes exponential. That's what Vicky and I do in our jobs. We create exponential growth in organizations. Yeah? That's what the book is about. And this is like Mercedes-Benz. We work with them. Before, people at each other's throats. Afterwards, they're celebrating and get along. Yeah, some big success stories. We helped an architecture firm recover from bankruptcy. A global top food company in Indonesia. We helped them recover from the financial crisis in only 8 months. We helped them grow 25% in 8 months. A BPO side in the Philippines, we helped them increase their sales by over 50% in 7 weeks. And helped them, at the same time, increase the customer satisfaction index from 6th to 2nd place in their BPO group. And another top food company and a business unit in the Philippines, we helped them increase their revenue by nearly 40% in 8 months. No? So that's when you do exponential growth, is what happens in a very short time. Yeah? Now, in terms of your culture, you're going to have to find a communication strategy. You know, your people will be talking about it, and then you have to talk about it. The purpose of that is 50% attraction and 50% engagement. So among the many strategies, models, and approaches involved in recruitment, it is impossible to say which model for certain will give you a result, but So gravity recruiting is definitely a very strong approach. So this is if you want to get a hold of us. This is where you can find us. If you're interested in exponential growth, because that's what we do.